Directed by Coralie Fargeet, Revenge takes the classic rape revenge story and dials it up with neon-soaked visuals, brutal violence, and a heroine who refuses to stay down. Matilda Lutz plays Jen, left for dead by her wealthy boyfriend Kevin Janssens and his sleazy hunting buddies. But instead of dying, she transforms into an unstoppable force of vengeance. If you're into over-the-top action that makes you wince and cheer at the same time, Revenge delivers. It's gory, stylish, and feels like a mix of Mad Max, Fury Road, and John Wick, but with way more blood. The final showdown? A heart-pounding, tension-filled cat-and-mouse game through a blood-slicked house. The 2024 adaptation of The Count of Monte Cristo brings Alexandre Dumas' classic tale of betrayal and revenge to life with a modern edge. Edmond Dantès is backstabbed by those he trusted and thrown into a brutal prison, losing years of his life. But when he escapes with a hidden fortune, he reinvents himself as the mysterious Count of Monte Cristo. His plan? To take down everyone who wronged him, one by one.
Vous aussi, vous êtes prêt à me sacrifier pour votre vengeance?
Every move is precise, every moment filled with tension. It's a slow-burn thriller packed with mind games and sharp action. And if you love the 2002 version, this new take is definitely worth checking out. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson ditches the family-friendly roles and goes full beast mode in Faster, a hard-hitting action thriller that's all about vengeance, justice, and the cost of both. Johnson plays Driver, a man freshly released from prison with one goal: hunt down the people responsible for his brother's murder.
Pure, no hesitation.
As fast as you?
He's faster.
The action in Faster is brutal, efficient, and straight to the point. No over-the-top CGI, no unnecessary acrobatics, just raw, intense showdowns. It's got that old-school 70s revenge thriller vibe where the tension builds before a sudden explosion of violence. Avengement is a brutal revenge story that follows Kane Burgess, played by Scott Adkins, a skilled fighter who gets set up by his own brother Lincoln and thrown into one of England's most violent prisons. Locked up and fighting for his life every day, Kane is pushed to his limit, turning into a hardened, unstoppable force. When he finally breaks free, he's got one goal: make everyone who betrayed him pay. Director Jesse V. Johnson keeps things raw and relentless, with intense action and a no-nonsense look at what years of violence and betrayal can do to a man.
I wish you could do in 20 years.
Jason Statham and director Guy Ritchie team up again for Wrath of Man, a hard-hitting heist thriller with tension, violence, and a revenge-fueled story. Statham plays H, a quiet but deadly new hire at a cash truck company, but he's clearly not just there for the job. As the story jumps through time, we find out he has a personal reason for hunting down the criminals behind a string of robberies in LA.
Gotta be an inside job. I can do it in 2 weeks.
Unlike Ritchie's usual fast-talking, humor-filled crime films, this one is colder, more calculated, and backed by a tense score that keeps you on edge. The action is brutal. The story pulls you in, and Statham does what he does best.
What happened in the subway with Leonard?
Who's Leonard?
He's the man you and your mates murdered.
If you enjoy crime thrillers with deep emotions and strong performances, Harry Brown is a must-watch. Michael Caine plays a retired Royal Marine living in a rough London neighborhood overrun by violent gangs. After his best friend is murdered, he decides to take justice into his own hands. Unlike typical action-packed revenge films, Harry Brown feels real and intense. The story is dark, suspenseful, and keeps you on edge. Caine delivers an outstanding performance, showing both vulnerability and quiet strength.
We recovered the murder weapon at the scene. It was an old military bayonet.
Emily Mortimer plays a detective trying to solve the case while sensing something is off. The film also does a great job of showing the fear and hopelessness of people living in crime-filled areas. It's not just about action, it's about justice, survival, and tough choices. Would you support Harry's actions or let the law do its job?
Everyone involved is going to pay.
Eli Roth's Death Wish puts a modern spin on the 1974 Vigilante thriller, with Bruce Willis as Paul Kersey, an ER surgeon who turns into a one-man execution squad after a brutal home invasion, leaves his wife dead and his daughter in a coma. Frustrated with the justice system, he takes matters into his own hands, hunting criminals on the streets of Chicago.
This viral video is this dude right for taking the law into his own hands.
Roth cranks up the violence, delivering a brutal revenge story while Willis plays it cold and methodical. But the film can't quite decide if it wants to be pure action or make a statement, leaving it somewhere in between. Liam Neeson is all business and Taken, turning it into one of the most intense revenge movies out there. When his daughter is kidnapped in Paris, ex-CIA agent Brian Mills doesn't hesitate. He goes straight for the people who took her.
You have a 96-hour what? To never finding her.
But if you don't, I will look for you.
Where is she?
With just 96 hours before she's gone for good, he tears through a human trafficking ring, leaving nothing but bodies in his wake. The action is fast, the fights are brutal, and the stakes couldn't be higher. It's not about realism, it's about pure, edge-of-your-seat thrills. The Northman is a brutal Viking saga about Amleth, a young prince out for blood after his father's murder. He's on a mission to avenge his father, save his mother, and take back his kingdom, no matter the cost. Think Gladiator meets Norse mythology, with a dose of pure madness. Directed by Robert Eggers, The Witch, The Lighthouse, this isn't just about battles. It's about fate, honor, and vengeance.
To break their minds.
And night by night, we will carry out my pledge of vengeance.
Alexander Skarsgård is a beast as Amleth, with Nicole Kidman and Anya Taylor-Joy adding depth to this dark, mythic world. The visuals, stunning. The violence, relentless. If you're into epic revenge stories, The Northman is a must-watch. Revenge has never been this brutal. 2003 Oldboy, directed by Park Chan-wook, tells the story of Oh Dae-soo, a man who is suddenly kidnapped and locked in a room for 15 years with no reason given. When he's finally set free, he has only one goal: find out who did this to him and make them pay. But as he digs deeper, he realizes the truth is far more horrifying than he ever imagined. This film is a masterpiece of suspense, action, and psychological torment. The famous hammer fight scene is unforgettable, the cinematography is stunning, and the plot twist absolutely mind-blowing. Choi Min-sik delivers an incredible performance, making you feel every ounce of his pain and rage.